me do it this way, like I'm talking to a drum corps, because I am. It's nice to see everybody tonight. What a bunch of talented, crazy sunrisers. That's you. And you know what? There's many more that have been growing up through the drum corps that are going to be just like you in 50 years. I'm sorry, in a few years. I have to kind of talk about this drum corps a little bit before I introduce Sharon. There's something about it, and I don't know what it is. It's unlike any drum corps I've ever been with. It's the history, it's the drive, it's the desire to be the best thing you can possibly be. And that's this corps. And that's how it is. When you were there, that's how it is now. It's taken us a couple years to get back to the field, but 2024 we did it. We represented the corps well, I think, that year. Class A, did great. The following year, we moved up 33% in membership to what we did last year, which was a good representation. And this year, we hope to do even more, right? But how I look at it and talk with the kids, at the end of the day, kids, that makes me feel really old now too, is that once you're a sunriser, you're always a sunriser. Once you leave, you are always part of the organization. So just because you might work with another corps, go to another corps, you'll always be part of this big, happy, dysfunctional family. All right, so I'm so proud to have been here since the fall of 2013. Larry somehow was one of the guys that suckered me in, and I haven't gone away through ups and downs. And so it's been a blast so far, and hopefully we'll continue to build upon what we started. So thank you. All right, so this next person we're going to talk about a little bit. She's been around the Sunrisers for most of her life. It's amazing what she's been doing. Her father, right, Sharon, back in 1954. No, 54 was it? Yeah. And we hear stories about the uniforms that have been sewed at her house or her grandmother's place, correct? And all her time cleaning up after some people that wanted to go to her father's and have get-togethers after rehearsal. Sharon has, I met Sharon in the 2015, and it was a send-off show. And at the send-off show, she watched the drum corps, and she saw it. 14. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm being corrected. This happens once in a while. So she came to the show. It was a send-off, and she handed me a $100 check, and she said, do you know who I am? That's what she said to me. Those were the first words. I'm like, no, I have no idea who you are. And then she explained about her father and the history, and I said, great. And then she said those words of, let me know what I can do to help. Well, since then, that $100 check grew into probably a couple $100,000. And she does it out of her heart for the drum corps, out of the heart for the kids, out of the legacy of what this is all about. She serves what we call the buffet, which we try to tame down, but she'll never listen. She'll tell us all to shut up because that's what she wants to do, and that's what we let her do. I'm always lectured if there's something going on where we might want to talk with a kid or kind of say, hey, you're not cutting it. She just says, give them a break. Give them a break. And we give breaks. And she's been known to also been the housing site. I mean, one year we had about 23 people in her house, living at her house. It was Hotel Sunrisers. So, the cesspool runneth over at her place. She's held crazy positions. She's been a business manager, a board member. She's been an assistant director. She's been, somebody that we all talk to. She's my reminder. She's always prodding me. Did you remember this? Did you remember to call this person, that person, this person? No, I forgot. And then she keeps kicking me in the butt. She's currently the board president, which she's does everything she can to help lead that crazy group of people that work so hard for all of us, this drum corps. It's just every day that house. I actually live in the basement. Somehow I got there. She said, "You stay here." But that house is Sunrisers. We are Sunrisers 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day, and that's the only way you can do it. That's the only way you can do it, is to work this thing, keep it going, the recruiting, the push. DCI is not the easiest thing to be part of because there's a lot that goes behind it. It's also very supportive at the same time. There's a lot of things that we can, get from DCI. The marketing's amazing there. And, as Jeff was saying, there's connections they can make. Like, Carolina Crown is a good friend of the Sunrisers. We talk with those guys all the time. Doug Magon is a good friend. Other drum corps, we get together. We hate each other on the field, but I was hanging out with the Hurricanes and the Caballeros guys, a week ago. But we don't tell our secrets, but we hang out and drink a little bit. And complain about stuff. Sharon's known to go on the buses for 14-hour trips out to Indy at risk of her own health, but she does it anyway because she ignores anything that I try to say to her about not going on the bus. Again, her words to the kids, the welcoming, she knows everybody's business. This kid's going out with that kid, this one's seeing this one, that one, and I'm like, oh boy. But she knows, if we need to know about a kid, we'll ask Sharon and she'll tell us. I gotta say that her love for this drum corps is something beyond words can describe. So Sharon, thank you very much, and it's a privilege to be here, privilege to be able to talk about you. Thank you.
I know. Okay, I never expected this honor to come to me. And I thank all the people that picked me, and it's a big privilege. Thank you very, very much. But Sunrisers to me is my life. And okay, I wasn't around all the time, but I used to pop in and show up. Ran a show in '97. I came back on 2014, and once I got hooked into it, I couldn't stop. And I've been doing this when I was even a little girl. I was only 4 when my father joined the Sunrisers. And so music, and okay, I'm going back to this, no women, but we had one woman in the Sunrisers back in the 50s. Okay, this is Lindsay. And she had to leave the Sunrisers when we started to compete. And she was a really lovely lady, and her daughter was the little majorette. She had a twirler, and that's what she used to do. But I was proud when I heard that in 1969, the Sunrisers pushed the fact that we had women in drum corps. And I'm very proud of that. And we should hold that on. Drum corps was my father's thing, and we weren't allowed to be in it. He did everything. I did everything else that we had to do, from cleaning, cooking, ironing, and whatever else. But when I started back in 2014, when I went to see them, I got a note from Tony White that there was a pre-game to come down and look at what the drum corps is going to be like. Well, first of all, I'm used to the drum corps how it was, not what it was then. Now in 2014, it's totally different. And I said, this is drum corps? This is not what I'm accustomed to. But I learned to love it. I deal with it. Sometimes he hears me complain about uniforms. What are we doing this? No, can't do that. We have a guitar. Okay. I love drum corps, and I thank the honor for being here. And I want the Sunrisers to achieve as much as possible this year. These kids are good. They know their stuff. Okay, and I mean their music, look at what our staff is for the Sunrisers. They're all old Sunrisers now teaching at the high schools, and they're teaching us. So this year I think we're going to do really good, and that's all I can help for. But there's a lot of work that goes with it. It never ends. I still work my regular job besides Sunrisers. So if ever you want, please come down, watch us, support us. We really need it. So I thank you again.